I thought it was just a heartfelt wedding gift, something every mother gives her daughter before she starts a new chapter in life. But what I unwrapped wasn't just a gift. It was a secret buried so deep, it shattered everything I believed about my family. It was a beautiful spring morning. The house was buzzing with excitement, and my mom was in the corner of the room, smiling warmly as I tried on my wedding dress for the final fitting. She looked proud, her eyes glistening with tears of joy. For years, my mom had been my rock, my guide, and my closest confidant. She pulled me aside that afternoon, holding a small, elegantly wrapped box. "This is something special, my dear," she said softly, her voice trembling just enough to make me notice. "It's a piece of our history, a part of who we are." I couldn't have imagined then that the box she handed me held more than just an heirloom. It held the key to a truth I wasn't prepared to face. That evening, after all the wedding preparations had settled, I sat down with the box. It was light, almost too light. I unwrapped it carefully, expecting a piece of jewelry or a letter filled with motherly advice. Instead, I found a faded photo tucked inside an old, intricately designed locket. The photo wasn't just old, it felt out of place. It showed a young woman who looked eerily like me, standing beside a man who wasn't my father. There was something unsettling about the way they smiled, as if they shared a secret meant to be hidden forever. I tried to brush it off. Maybe it was a distant relative, someone from my mom's past. But the unease stayed with me, growing stronger with each passing hour. Curiosity got the better of me. The next day I confronted my mom. I expected her to laugh it off, to tell me some whimsical story about a long-lost aunt or a youthful fling. But her face turned pale the moment she saw the locket in my hand. She sat down, clutching the edge of the table for support. "I hoped you wouldn't find out like this," she whispered, her voice cracking under the weight of her words. "That woman in the photo, that's not a relative. It's me, and the man standing beside me." She paused, tears streaming down her face. "He's your biological father." My world spun. The room felt too small, too suffocating. I tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come out. All these years I had believed in the story of our family, one of love, unity, and truth. But this revelation unraveled everything. The confrontation was raw and emotional. I couldn't stop the questions from tumbling out. "Why didn't you tell me? Who else knows? Does Dad know?" Her answers were hesitant, filled with guilt. She explained how she had fallen in love with a man before meeting my father, how circumstances had forced her to keep the secret, and how she had spent years trying to protect me from a truth she believed would hurt me. "Your father, the one who raised you, is the man who chose you, who loved you unconditionally," she said, her voice breaking. "I never wanted this to overshadow that." I felt betrayed, not just by the secret, but by the years of deception. Every family photo, every childhood memory now felt tainted. I couldn't shake the thought of the man in the photo, my biological father. Did he even know I existed? I needed answers, but I also needed space. My mom's tearful apologies echoed in my mind as I drove aimlessly that night, trying to make sense of it all. Weeks passed before I could face my mom again. In that time, I sought clarity, speaking to close friends and even a therapist. Slowly, I began to realize that while the secret was painful, it didn't erase the love and sacrifices my mom had made for me. When I finally sat down with her, we talked for hours. I asked questions about my biological father, and she answered them honestly, no longer hiding behind the veil of secrecy. In the end, I came to terms with the truth. I decided to reach out to my biological father, not to replace the man who raised me, but to understand a part of myself I never knew existed. The experience taught me that families aren't defined by secrets or bloodlines. They're defined by the love and resilience that hold them together. What would you do if you discovered a family secret that changed everything you believed about your past? Let me know in the comments below.